What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna fuck you up.
The movie tells the story of Hutch Mansell, a man who appears to live an ordinary life. He has 2 children with his wife, Becca, and works at a dull office job in a metal fabrication company owned by his father-in-law, Eddie. His marriage has grown strained over the years, and his routine existence has become monotonous and uninspiring. One night, Hutch's quiet life is disrupted when 2 armed thieves, a man and a woman, break into his family home. Hutch manages to confront them, but instead of taking action, he shockingly allows the thieves to leave with some cash. Moments later, his eldest son Blake manages to ambush one of the intruders, but Hutch intervenes, ordering Blake to release the man and let them go. Before leaving, one of the thieves punches Blake in the face, an act that enrages Hutch but leaves him standing helplessly by. The aftermath leaves Hutch humiliated. His family is deeply disappointed. Becca and Blake see him as weak and cowardly, incapable of protecting them. Word of Hutch's inaction spreads quickly throughout his neighborhood and workplace, and soon he becomes the target of gossip, ridicule, and mockery. Friends, neighbors, and co-workers openly criticize him for failing to fight back against the burglars, especially after Blake was assaulted. Even Charlie, his brother-in-law, expresses his disappointment and pointedly hands Hutch a gun, urging him to be prepared to protect his family. Meanwhile, Eddie discusses Hutch's plan to purchase the company but expresses dissatisfaction with the price Hutch has offered, insisting on a higher figure. These interactions only add to Hutch's frustration, as the pressures from his family, neighbors, and workplace weigh heavily on him. Seeking an outlet, Hutch secretly contacts his adoptive brother Harry using a hidden radio at his office. He explains the burglary, admitting that he refrained from fighting the intruders because he could see they were desperate rather than malicious. Hutch had quickly noticed that their gun was unloaded and that they had taken only small change. From his perspective, they were struggling people acting out of necessity, and that was why he had let them go without violence. Later, Hutch visits his father, David, who lives in a nursing home. On his way back home, he pauses outside, looking through the window at his wife and children. Inside, the atmosphere remains tense. Becca and Blake continue to ignore him, unwilling to forgive what they view as cowardice. Only Sammy, his daughter, speaks to him, asking her father to help her find her missing kitty cat bracelet, which she suspects the thieves may have stolen. Determined to prove himself, Hutch retrieves his father's old gun and sets out to track down the thieves. Remembering a tattoo on the wrist of one of them, he sketches it and visits several tattoo parlors. In one such place, where the patrons initially look down on him, a man unexpectedly thanks Hutch for something from his past. This sudden recognition changes the attitude of everyone in the room, and they begin to treat him with respect. Eventually, Hutch locates the couple's home and forces them to return his daughter's bracelet. However, just as he is about to leave, he hears a baby crying. Realizing the thieves are caring for a sick child, Hutch's guilt overwhelms him. Frustrated with himself, he storms out and slams his fist against the wall in anger. On his way back, Hutch boards a bus. A group of drunken thugs also enter, harassing the passengers, including a young woman. Seizing the chance to unleash his pent-up rage, Hutch orders the driver to leave the bus, then brutally beats the gang under the pretense of protecting the woman.
What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna fuck you up.
When he returns home, battered and bruised, Becca tends to his wounds with care and stays by his side until he falls asleep. It is the first moment of closeness between them since the burglary. The story then shifts to Russia, where Yulian Kuznetsov, a ruthless crime lord, enjoys a lavish party at a nightclub. Yulian runs a large-scale money laundering operation, trusted by other Russian mobsters to handle their illicit funds. However, doubts about his competence circulate among his associates. To silence dissent and prove his dominance, Yulian shocks everyone by randomly slitting the throat of a clubgoer, demonstrating that defying him leads to certain death. His celebration ends abruptly when he receives word that his younger brother, Teddy, is in a coma after being brutally beaten. Teddy, it turns out, had been one of the thugs Hutch annihilated on the bus. Furious, Yulian interrogates Teddy's surviving men until one produces Hutch's stolen business card. The next morning, as Hutch shares breakfast with his family, Harry warns him about the consequences of the bus fight, explaining that one of his victims was the brother of a powerful Russian crime lord. Harry advises him to seek information from a barber who is well informed about the underworld. At the barbershop, Hutch learns more about Yulian's violent reputation. Instead of regretting his actions, Hutch remains calm and prepared to face whatever comes next. Meanwhile, Yulian enlists a female informant to investigate Hutch using only his business card. Her research uncovers Hutch's true past. He was once an auditor, the last man any criminal organization wanted to encounter. He was an assassin for intelligence services, infamous for never failing and for killing his targets with brutal efficiency. Horrified, the informant refuses to continue, fearing for her life. That night, Yulian sends a team led by his right-hand man, Pavel, to Hutch's home. Anticipating the assault, Hutch hides his family in the basement and instructs them to remain calm without calling the police. Taken hostage, Hutch regains consciousness in the back of a car, escapes his restraints, and uses a fire extinguisher to blind the driver. The vehicle crashes, killing Pavel and the remaining men. Returning home, Hutch frees his family from the basement. They are horrified by the carnage, their house filled with corpses. Before sending them away to safety, Hutch assures Becca he will end this quickly. He collects his possessions, including gold bullion he earned from past missions, and burns the house to destroy evidence. At the same time, Yulian dispatches assassins to kill David at the nursing home. Unexpectedly, David proves his resilience, easily eliminating them despite his age. Meanwhile, Hutch purchases Eddie's company outright with his gold. When Charlie confronts him angrily, Hutch incapacitates him without hesitation. With Yulian now fully aware of Hutch's capabilities and losses, he vows vengeance. Hutch strikes back first, raiding Yulian's stash house. After killing the guards, he burns the mob's cash and Yulian's prized art collection. He then confronts Yulian directly at his nightclub, carrying a live explosive. Calmly, Hutch offers a truce, promising not to kill Yulian if he leaves his family alone. He reveals that he has destroyed all the mafia's money entrusted to Yulian and advises him to find a new line of work. Hutch departs, but Yulian refuses peace and orders his men to hunt Hutch down. The pursuit leads to the factory Hutch recently purchased. Anticipating the attack, he has rigged the building with deadly traps. Joined by David and Harry, Hutch unleashes a violent counteroffensive, slaughtering Yulian's men in waves. David, a retired FBI agent, and Harry, a highly trained ex-soldier, fight with ruthless efficiency alongside him.
What do you want to treat? No! Remember when I said don't do nothing stupid? I wouldn't come save your white ass? Son. Fuck it down! Now! Get in there!
despite Harry taking a bullet wound, they decimate the mobsters until only Yulian remains. Out of ammunition, Hutch charges Yulian with a mine attached to bulletproof glass, detonating it and killing him instantly. With the battle won, Hutch ensures David and Harry have escaped before surrendering to the arriving police. During interrogation, investigators are stunned by the brutality of the scene, struggling to believe Hutch acted alone. When Hutch admits to killing all the men, their disbelief grows. Moments later, both interrogators receive a phone call that abruptly changes their demeanor. They release Hutch without charges, baffled by his true identity. Asked who he really is, Hutch replies simply, "Nobody." Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.